Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us here today. I'm, of course, Gregor Guy.
My name is Casey.
And for your viewing pleasure, we will be presenting the next episode of Bang Head History.
Right.
So I'm just going to go ahead and throw it over to you, Casey. What you got for us this week?
Well, today we're going to talk about political parties in the United States of America. America. Just so everybody knows, I am not a fan of political parties or factions, and neither were the founding fathers.
Okay.
You feel anything about political parties?
I am actually a registered independent.
I am a registered Republican.
Only
because in the state of Maryland you cannot vote in primaries.
That's true.
Unless you are a party of a political party.
Well, yes, I am aware of this, and I don't know. I still hold out hope that eventually we go away from this two-party system.
I do not consider myself a Republican or Democrat personally. I consider myself a free thinker, and I will vote for whoever has my best interests at hand, as well everybody else should as well.
Sounds like an independent.
I would absolutely agree that I am. But just in the state of Maryland, I have to play by these rules to be able to contribute to the politics in the way that I believe I should.
Mm-hmm.
George Washington was not a member of a political party, and the only president that was not a member of a political party.
He didn't really need to be.
Right. He was, however, by the things that he did and said, he was a Federalist. He was, which is a political party, the first political party in the United States. And that is only by extension of him having his own beliefs, and their segment of the political people. The people in power were also believed the things that he believed, considered themselves Federalists. So by extension, George Washington was kind of like a Federalist. James Madison himself famously warned that of the mischiefs of political factions. He believed that a large majority could seize control of the government. Shocker?
Yeah, imagine he got called, 200 and some years ago?
Right. The second president of the United States, John Adams, he was a Federalist. So the first party in power was the Federalist Party. Their standing was on that they emphasized commercial and diplomatic harmony with Britain. They were in favor of domestic order and stability and a strong national government under a powerful executive and judicial branch.
Didn't even throw legislative branch in there?
No. Well, that would mean that because if you empower the legislative branch, you're taking powers away from the executive branch.
Obviously. But, I mean, there's a reason for the whole checks and balance thing.
Right, and that is that was an important thing for people writing the Constitution and developing the U.S. government, is that they wanted to put checks and balances in so that one segment could not acquire total political control over the political system in the country.
Good.
Their opposition, the Democratic Republican Party. Thomas Jefferson was the lead man in this party, and he was also the vice president of Federalist John Adams. So it would be the only time in history, United States history, that the vice president and the president were of opposing political factions.
And that's actually interesting, and I'm sure I've told you this before, but I think it would be a smart move for a sitting party president to, choose a vice president of the opposing party. I believe that would, lead to the Congress maybe possibly actually for once in their fucking lives working together. Just a thought.
I'm off-put about it in a way because there is also a House representative, and the vice president is the leader of the Senate.
Yeah.
So that would mean that there would still be an imbalance of power, probably, because whoever controlled the House would still have more power than.
Well, the House will be Speaker of the House. The Vice President serves as, I don't know what it is.
The leader of the Senate.
Yeah, I mean, there's a term for it, but I can't think of it off the top of my head.
I think by extension, there's the three most powerful people in the government would be the leader of the House of Representatives, the vice president, who is the leader of the Senate, and then the president.
Yeah.
And being that there's only two political factions as of now in the country, any way you look at it, there's going to be an imbalance in power, specifically because of the president and the vice president, and then you have the House. So if you mismatch the vice president and the president, there's still, I think, in my personal opinion, there's still going to be that imbalance.
Well, I mean, just forget about this imbalance of power, as you said.
Right.
Why don't you actually just try and work together to get something done? Something that benefits, actual Americans.
It's all about money. It's all about money to them.
Yeah. Well,
Money and power.
it's a sad world we live in.
So there's the Democrat-Republican Party. The Democratic-Republican Party was prior known as the Anti-Federalist Party. So they only began in opposition to the Federalist Party.
Okay, so there was a Federalist Party, and then there was an Anti-Federalist Party.
Correct. And then they later became...
Real original in the name.
Well, they changed it. Gotta give them that. So basically, they contended the Federalists. They believed that the Federalists were aristocrats. That their policies put too much power into the central government, and it only really benefited the affluent members at the expense of the common man. So Thomas Jefferson was a man of the people. He believed in empowering the common man, and the Federalists were more aligned with the rich and powerful.
Okay.
Adams kind of embroiled himself in a undeclared war against the French Navy, and he enacted the Alien and Sedition Act, which you can hear sometimes, even now, in politics. It restricts the act restricted the freedom of speech, and was somewhat the downfall of the Federalist Party. And then later on, the United States would go to war with the British in the War of 1812. The Federalist Party sided with the British, which continued their downfall, and they had a stigma of treason. And then the party continued on until about 1816, where effectively the party died out.
Did it die out, or was it just rebranded?
It pretty much died out.
Okay.
The Federalist Party in general. So basically, the Democrat-Republican Party became the political faction. I'm sure, And I'm not going to talk about political factions that did not hold a significant amount of power, because there's been many different parties in the United States, but none of them, only a few of them have actually held actual power.
Okay. Wasn't there like a Whig party for a while?
That is continuing. That is, we're not there yet.
Oh, okay. All right. Because I actually know absolutely nothing about that.
Right. We'll get to that.
I just know it used to be a thing.